Hey, what's going on, guys? That was a great introduction. Thank you, Ella. I appreciate it. I am a stroke survivor, and I'm going to be talking about being overwhelmed, I guess, especially this close to the holiday season, which I absolutely was a very few short days ago. I do have, I'm going to share some tips and tricks that have helped me, and hopefully it'll help you. Every day that isn't a holiday is pretty overwhelming for a brain injury survivor. I think most of us, if not all of us, feel flooded. We feel overwhelmed by noises, by sounds, by lights, by scents, which was like this new thing that happened to me recently. So we have to protect ourselves in moments like that, especially in holidays, because people are a little bit chaotic outside. Friends and family that you haven't seen for a while, close spaces, loud noises. So a normal, boring, mundane day can be very overwhelming. So just throw in the holidays, lights, sounds. What I've used to help me with the feeling of overwhelm, because I'll wake up at like a 5. I don't know about you guys. I hope this might resonate with at least some of you. My emotional regulation can be off most days, especially when I'm overwhelmed. So people will ask, God, you got so angry so quickly. I'm like, yeah, you don't understand. I was already halfway there. So what you see is me being fine and then exploding. It's like you went from 0 to 60. It's like, no, I was already at 30. So like I'm literally halfway there. So to keep myself in a good space, I meditate every single day. If you guys don't meditate, I think it's something that is essential in every brain injury recovery survivor's life. First thing I do every single morning is meditate, 10 minutes, boom. That's how I start my day. Routine is key. And I think it's very important for everybody, specifically brain injury survivors. So we don't have any control of what the day is for the most part. We can control how our day starts. So I wake up every single morning, the same thing. I meditate for 10 minutes. I walk my dog, come home, feed said dog, make myself a cup of coffee, make myself a protein shake, and that's how I start my day. So if any aspect of that routine is broken, I kind of fall apart. So I try to keep that. That's my baseline. I can do that. I can get through anything. Everything else is whatever. I can get through that because I started my day the right way. As the day goes on, how I keep myself from becoming overwhelmed with sound is these guys. I don't know if you guys use headphones. These are amazing for a bunch of different reasons. These specifically, if you push them all the way in your ears, it blocks out all of the background noise. So I can still hear within 3-4 feet of me, but all that guy screaming and having a loud phone conversation over there, that car honking, that dog barking, all that stuff, that volume comes down, and it's very, very helpful to me. Also, people are less likely to talk to you when you have these in your ears. They come up to you, and then they leave you alone, which is a beautiful thing. That's very, very helpful. As for holidays and meeting with friends and family, if you're hosting, you're on your home turf. You already know what to do, which I did. We didn't host anything. We're still kind of in the middle of a worldwide pandemic, so it was just very small. It was just my significant other's father, her brother, and his wife. That was still very overwhelming to me. I literally had to explain to everybody, this is something we all should do. Talk to everybody ahead of time. Say, hey, if I become overwhelmed, I'm going to step out. So it doesn't look weird. You're just like, hey guys, I'm out. Just give them a heads up. Hey, if I get a little bit overwhelmed, I'm going to have to step out. I'm going to have to go in the other room. I might have to go for a walk, whatever it is. I unfortunately became very overwhelmed and I stepped into the other room. It was kind of a bummer because this is the first like entertaining we've done in a few months. And I had to spend a good chunk of that time in the room, under my weighted blanket. If you guys don't have a weighted blanket, get a weighted blanket. It's a constant hug. It's amazing. But I was prepared. I prepared everybody that it has nothing to do with you. Please don't follow me. Please don't check in on me. Just let me be. Give me 5, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, half hour, whatever I need, just to breathe, to meditate, to get back to baseline, which is very helpful. If you're going to someone else's house, it's a road game. Talk to somebody. Talk to the people who are hosting the party. Hey, do you guys have a room that I can disappear into if I need? Not that, I'm going to spend, just if I'm feeling overwhelmed, can I just step into a quiet room for 5-10 minutes? It's something that anybody who knows you should understand. If there isn't a room, if that isn't a thing, hey, I need a safety net. If you're there with your partner, your significant other, a friend, whoever it is, say, hey, I need you to kind of run interference for me, or I need you to walk with me. We'll go for a quick walk, 5-10 minutes, just to step out, to not overwhelm yourself, to not freak out, because it's not just about that day. This is about weeks to come, honestly. I don't know if this is something that happens to you guys. I can get through that night. I can get through the feeling of overwhelm, the overstimulation, the flooding. I can get through it. And then I am done for the next week or two. Just it catches up to me, and I'm not the same until I rebuild myself. And that can take sometimes 2 to 3 weeks, unfortunately. So talk to your people. You know, it's very important. Communication is key. There's no shame. There's no embarrassment in this. We have Brandon. We didn't do this stuff on purpose. This didn't happen to us. We didn't go out and say, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to completely shift my life for the negative. No. This is just something that happened to us. So it's a lot of us fight the new normal. I love the term new normal. People hate it. I love it. I'm a big fan of it. You know, if you do keto, that's the way you eat now. That's your new normal. It's not a bad thing. It can be an amazing thing. So your new normal sometimes is, hey, I have to step away. I have to, get away from the stimulation. I have to get away from the noise. I have to get away from the lights. That's not a bad thing. It's really not. I think the more we talk about it, the more we share, the easier it is on us. It's also easier for the people around us to understand what we're going through. There isn't, if somebody is going to look down on you for having a brain injury and feeling overstimulated and feeling overwhelmed, that's probably not somebody that you should be spending a lot of time with. Those are some people that you should probably distance yourself from, which again, isn't a bad thing. They know an old version of you, not this new version of yourself, and that's okay. I really do believe that communication is key for yourself as well as the people around you. We can talk out a misunderstanding. We can't talk out silence when it comes to, hey, we're at a party and you just disappeared. So somebody's going to get upset with you. Say, hey, I was feeling overwhelmed. I had to go. So game planning is a big deal. Make sure that you game plan. Make sure that if you guys have any grounding techniques, if you guys can distract yourselves. Do you guys remember the fidget spinners? They were terrible, but there was a fidget cube, which was amazing. Texture can really help. So I have a little fidget cube, has little clickers, has a little rolly thing. Those things are incredible because it kind of gets yourself away. It really takes your mind somewhere else in those moments where you're feeling flooded, where you're feeling overwhelmed. I don't know where I'm at on time. I can talk forever. So how am I looking?
You're good, Joe. Keep going.
Okay. And look, it's a very overwhelming time for several different reasons. We're still kind of in the middle of a worldwide once in a lifetime pandemic. That's overwhelming. The seasons are changing. So a lot of us have seasonal depression. These are just things that affect normies. That's why I call it without brain injuries. Okay. On top of the fact that the weather is changing. When the weather changes, it really affects the way that we process, the way that we function. Family is around a little bit more. Work is stressful. All of these things are piling on top of one another. For just your average everyday person, it's overwhelming. Now, throwing a brain injury on top of that, it is chaos. So we just need to do these little things, these tiny little steps to help us with the chaos, just to get through our days, just to be functional. I'm a big fan of, after we have a thing, right? Whatever it is. I went to a party, I had a thing at work, I had a family get together. Afterwards, it's great to process that stuff out with the community. To be honest, we're the only ones that truly understand what it's like. We can talk to normies, they can sympathize, but they can't empathize because they have no idea what it's like. So it's very helpful after one of these events to connect with one another, just to talk it out. It makes you feel better. It gets it off your chest. It's like a weight that's been lifted off of your shoulders. And I think it's very helpful moving forward, because it's going to toughen you up. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good to talk about this stuff, honestly. But for me, I never talked about any of this stuff like my entire life. One of the reasons I had a stroke. But it's very helpful. It makes you feel very light, and it kind of calluses you up, right? It toughens you up, and you're able to deal with these things a little bit easier next time because you've been through it. Flooding is a really big issue that I have, and I react. I don't want to say violently. I react loudly. I get really short, and I don't like it. I don't like this conversation. I don't like this thing, and I get very, very, very short. So if you feel that you react loudly or violently to these things, you have to figure out what your triggers are and then try to avoid them. Or if you can't avoid them, figure out how to get out of that zone quickly. Again, I go right back to meditation. Meditation it's life-changing. It's life-changing in the best way possible. When I say flooding, it's, if you guys don't know what that is, or if you haven't been through it, it's when everything hits you all at once. I kind of see it as if we're standing in the middle of a freeway and the cars are just zooming by. It's just nonstop. There's lights, there's noise, there's the feeling of the wind. it's everything hitting you all at once. So when you meditate, it slows everything down. I kind of feel like we turn into like Neo from the Matrix, where like, oh yeah, there's a bullet going by. That's crazy, you know? So once you're able to look, you don't perfect meditation. It's a practice. You know, like the Buddhist monks that study meditation up in the mountains, like for decades, on their last day on this planet, they are still practicing meditation. There's no perfect, you know? But the more and more you practice meditation, the easier it is to slow down the flooding. So when I'm flooded, again, just like being on a freeway, you just see these cars and they're going by so fast. After meditating for, I would say, a good several weeks to several months, you're in a better place. Now the car is going by fast. You can kind of see them a little. Okay, that was a truck. That was a regular car. That was a Miata. That was a Hyundai. It slows everything down. So it's still overwhelming, but it's not as chaotic as it was. So slow down your thoughts. Take a breath. Relax. If you know of any, I use Headspace. If you don't meditate on your own, I've been meditating for going on 4 years straight now, and I need the guided meditation. I need that little dude in my ear to say, hey, it's time to breathe. It's time to hold your breath, let it out. Headspace is a really good one. Calm is a really good one. A friend and fellow brain injury survivor, Emily Matheny, she has a podcast called Live Intentionally. She does really quick 5 to 7 minute meditation specifically for the brain injury community. You should definitely check her out. It's really, really good, especially in the moment. If you're alone, meditation is key, and figuring out how to keep yourself whelmed, not overwhelmed, just whelmed is really important. If you're with somebody, friends, family, coworkers, whatever it is, find your person, find somebody that you're comfortable with to help carry some of this weight. It's heavy getting through recovery, specifically through the holidays. You can ask for help. It's not weakness. In my opinion, it's strength. Ask for help. Say, hey, I'm going to be struggling in all likelihood at this event. Is there any way that you just keep an eye on me? Is there a signal that I can give you where I'm feeling a little flooded, where you can come over and maybe, walk me around the party, or we'll step out for that. I don't smoke. Nobody, you guys shouldn't smoke. Maybe step out and just have like a nice 2-3 minute chat just to get away from things. It's connection is a really important thing in recovery. Connection is a really important thing when we're feeling overwhelmed, when we're feeling flooded, when we're feeling lost. Because in those moments, it's really difficult to explain. I had a friend recently that she did not handle this stuff very well. And I understood everything that happened to her. And I put myself in her shoes. I was like, oh my gosh, I would have done the exact same thing. She ended up having to go to the hospital because she didn't handle the situation very well. She didn't like the conversation that was being had. She wasn't handling the change of the seasons. She wasn't handling the amount of stimulation that was around, and she didn't deal with it very well. So that could be any of us at any point. We need to slow our thoughts. We need to make preemptive strikes. We need to invite other people on this journey with us, because we can do it alone. But I kind of describe it as we can move, like if we're moving from apartment to house, whatever it is, we can do it by ourselves. It'd be ridiculous. We can do it by ourselves. We can just drag that mattress up the steps. We can drag that couch out of there. It's a lot easier when you have help. We have help. If you don't have it from your friends or your family, you have it from the community. Reach out to somebody. It's almost like sponsors, reach out to somebody that understands, somebody who can help carry that weight. A simple conversation, a simple, hey, this is what I was going through. And, I just want to get that, can go so far. It can really help you process. It'll really help you, strengthen yourself for the next time, because there is going to be a next time. And I don't say that to be doomsday. I just say that to be honest. The feeling of overwhelm, the feeling of overstimulation, the depression that comes with that, the anxiety that comes with that doesn't go away. It gets easier, it gets better. It just doesn't go away. You just become stronger. So, process as much as you can, connect with as many people as you can, make as many preemptive strikes as you can beforehand. Like, hey, the stimulation with lights, if you need to be sunglasses at night indoor person, be sunglasses at night indoor person. It doesn't matter what anybody thinks about what you're doing. If it's helping you, that's all that matters. Your people will understand. Anybody who doesn't, they're not your people. So why do you care? If you wouldn't take advice from these people, why would you take their criticism? So that helps me when I'm doing something that other people would see maybe as ridiculous, or I'm like, I don't really care. It's helping me, and my people understand how it helps me. So that's what really matters. So connect with other people, connect with me. I'm a pretty nice guy. Make sure you get this stuff out. Like we can't hold it in. We can't hold in the stress. We can't hold in this anxiety. We have to vent it out. We have to let it go so we're able to move on and really, live life. We made it back not to be angry and upset. We made it back to live life, smile, and connect. So I hope that's what we all do. I hope everybody stays happy, healthy, and safe. If you guys have any questions or comments or anything, if you want more tips and tricks, if you guys just want to chat, talk about nerd stuff, hit me up. Pretty nice guy.